That's what they're mad about. 41 nationally televised games, and they are furious over it. I can't understand.
While Aya Wilson and her supporters are reportedly considering boycotting games featuring Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is currently navigating a passionate and divided fan base. The millions of new fans that Caitlin Clark has attracted to women's basketball with her skill and charisma are questioning why there is animosity towards someone contributing to the sport's growth. As the WNBA community grapples with differing opinions on players and their impact on the league's appeal, this situation highlights the ongoing division within the organization.
But you want to boycott the one player, looking right at you, Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson, one player that has caused the revenue to go way up in the monetary values. That's what you want to do. You think you're helping these women?
The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented interest, with Indiana Fever games selling out like Beyoncé concerts, ESPN expanding its coverage, and social media buzzing with Caitlin Clark highlights and discussions. However, some veteran players and their supporters see this surge as a threat rather than a reason to celebrate. Success, especially when it comes from Caitlin, seems to be the real concern, rather than mediocrity or irrelevance. This highlights the complexities of the league's evolving dynamics in response to Caitlin Clark's impact.
Original fans, activist fans, that's what they are, all right? Just keeping it real. They don't like the fact that you want to watch these games. They don't like the fact that you are 3 or 4 times the amount.
Have you heard the latest? Caitlin Clark's games are set to be televised 41 times this season, more than any other player in the league, sparking an all-out fan debate. Some fans are so passionate you'd think Clark had taken their lunch money. This ongoing discussion highlights the tension surrounding rising stars in the league, with the internet flooded with dramatic reactions reminiscent of over-the-top teen dystopian fiction, all triggered by the success of one rookie who dared to capture the spotlight.
Caitlin Clark in the Fever will have more nationally televised games than any NBA player this year. Sorry LeBron, sorry Luka, sorry every other player in the league. Let's be honest, I've seen the NBA ratings. She's beaten.
Unbelievably, some adult WNBA fans are deliberately skipping games in an attempt to lower attendance. Imagine being so frustrated by someone else's spotlight that you devise a plan that ultimately harms your own league. Some boycott supporters, including those with ties to WNBA media circles, are encouraging fans to either avoid games or watch them through unofficial streaming services as a way to protest ESPN. This Reddit discussion isn't just an anomaly. It reflects the broader complexities of fan dynamics in today's sports landscape.
They're all mad right now, furious, and my goodness, guys, they're talking boycott. Oh, what? Oh, there's strength in numbers. There's tens of.
A reminder of reality. Caitlin Clark isn't just making waves in the WNBA. She's on track to surpass even the NBA's biggest stars in national TV exposure this season. She will appear in more nationally televised games than LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Basketball culture is being shaped by Clark, not Aya Wilson, as some critics suggest. This isn't just a short-term phenomenon. She's pushing boundaries and redefining what it means to be a sports celebrity. This marks a significant shift in the sporting landscape, not just a fleeting moment.
I understand. This is a very, very small minority. It is a very small minority of people, but it is a loud, vocal minority. And this is not the general public. This is not the general populace.
If jealousy were a statistic, Aya Wilson would be leading the league, while Caitlin Clark continues to break attendance records and sell out arenas. Let's focus on that for a moment. Instead of embracing the surge in interest in women's basketball, Aya seems more invested in subtweets than in her game stats. Wilson's use of dismissive remarks as a defense mechanism is surprising. It's remarkable how someone so accomplished can come across as so bitter. Do you think the WNBA had given Caitlin her own network based on Aya's reaction? After years of being the uncontested star, Caitlin's arrival has shifted the spotlight to a younger, flashier, and more marketable talent. But the reality is, attention isn't something that's given, it's earned. Aya isn't losing anything. In this conversation, Wilson is acting like a resentful older sister, while Clark just keeps moving forward.
Wilson is her name, quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is."
You'd think a three-time MVP would be confident, yet Aya Wilson now finds herself cast as the antagonist in a storyline she willingly stepped into, while a small group of longtime fans, who supported the league in its quieter years, watch with mixed emotions. It's not Caitlin Clark's fault that fans are drawn to her instead of engaging in petty Twitter drama. Still, watching Aya Wilson react to Clark's rise feels like seeing a Netflix star realize their show has been canceled mid-season for something more appealing. These loyal fans once championed the WNBA when it was a niche sport. Now that Clark has helped bring it into the mainstream, some act as if their cherished, exclusive club has been invaded, like someone trampling on their prized collectibles. This tension between nostalgia and the evolving landscape of women's basketball is becoming more apparent.
Let's talk about it out loud, maybe. That's a massive part. Straight white girl's a big part of it too. I mean, it's out loud. It's out loud. It just came out of my mouth like that, just easy peasy. So they're mad, and they are.
Let's be honest. This boycott movement is fueled by ego rather than fairness or justice. Instead of allowing Caitlin Clark to become the new face of the league, some devoted players and fans would rather see it struggle. True fans, however, are too focused on enjoying the game to worry about airtime, something media experts have called a ridiculous concern. What we're witnessing is traditional gatekeeping. The early supporters who once shaped the league's identity are now panicking as new talent reshapes the narrative. This isn't unique to basketball, it happens in many fandoms, from hip-hop purists criticizing TikTok artists to comic book fans upset over mainstream adaptations. In the end, it's all driven by the same underlying insecurity.
Just mad. And what they have now trying to do is they are trying to boycott the Indiana Fever games. I'm not joking when I say this. They are literally saying, boycott Indiana. We need to all boycott the Indiana Fever games so they don't get more national TV games. We don't get more national TV games next year.
One of the most irrational things fans could do is deliberately undermine viewership if they truly care about the players and the league's success. Caitlin Clark's achievements benefit more than just herself. They elevate the league's visibility, drive revenue, and create opportunities for everyone involved. Ironically, the very players that boycotters claim to support could suffer the most from this short-sighted protest. Let's break down the numbers. Before Caitlin's rise, the average WNBA game attracted around 200,000 viewers. Now, over 1 million people regularly tune in. This isn't just gradual growth, it's a ratings explosion. Increased viewership means bigger advertising deals, which directly impact player salaries and the league's overall financial health. Given this reality, a boycott makes absolutely no sense.
Like, I just can't believe it. But their reasoning for boycotting the Fever game, they're literally saying, we should illegally stream the games when the Fever play our team. And I'm like, one, you are not a big percentage of the population for it to have.
This is how the money moves. Player salaries are directly tied to media rights agreements and lucrative partnerships with networks like ABC. Right now is the worst time to sulk and drive down ratings, as the WNBA is in a crucial stage of renegotiating its collective bargaining agreement. Yet, those pushing for a boycott seem to overlook a key reality. ESPN and CBS rely on viewership. The more people watch, the more money these networks are willing to invest in broadcasting the league. Networks are closely monitoring Caitlin Clark's ability to draw massive audiences, and if the WNBA capitalizes on this momentum, it could significantly increase every player's earning potential. However, if the boycott gains traction, that opportunity could disappear just as quickly.
They're trying to ungrow the game. And it's madness. It's absolutely madness. Like, they're threatening to boycott the Fever games. All 257 of them threatening to boycott Fever games like it makes any difference. Like, these people are not fans of basketball. These people are actually not fans.
ETs break it down. Since Caitlin Clark joined the WNBA, the league's viewership has skyrocketed, rising 5 to 10 times its usual numbers. This level of excitement has networks practically throwing money at the league, marking a massive shift rather than just a minor boost. The WNBA has spent decades fighting for this kind of recognition, making it hard to understand why some would call for a boycott at such a pivotal moment.
Oh, like Caitlin Clark. Like, this is genuinely, it's nothing to do with basketball. And it's nothing to do with Caitlin Clark, the person. They actually, there's no rhyme or reason to it, because I don't think there is a harder person to diss.
Some fans argue that this success feels too mainstream for them, as if a rookie suddenly earning the league's long-sought respect, visibility, and revenue is somehow unfair. The irony of the anti-Clark movement is almost comical. After years of demanding higher pay for WNBA players, some are now actively working against the one force capable of making that happen. The way these boycott supporters approach viewership raises questions about their logic. Success in sports isn't a zero-sum game. One player's rise doesn't diminish everyone else. Higher ratings don't just bring in Caitlin Clark fans. They lead to increased ticket sales, rising jersey sales, and greater exposure for every team. Sponsors who once overlooked the league are now paying attention. At the end of the day, everyone benefits. But somehow, that simple fact is being ignored.
They understand there's no viewership before Clark. So if they boycott, would it really move the needle?
And no, Caitlin Clark isn't hoarding wealth like a heist movie villain. Her success directly benefits the league by increasing salary caps and minimum salaries, giving hardworking players a real chance at fair compensation. This isn't favoritism, it's just the natural impact of growth. Yet, some critics seem so opposed to Clark leading the way that they'd rather sink the whole ship than let her steer, ignoring the fact that the rising tide is lifting all boats.
It's a situation where they move the goalpost. They'll always move the goalpost. You're seeing like prominent figures in the WNBA media-ish space. And the reason I say media-ish space is the Twitter trolls somehow are interact with the damn actual media in a two-way conversations every day.
What's even more baffling is this. In what other sport do fans actively organize to ignore their most famous athlete? Can you imagine NFL fans boycotting Patrick Mahomes' games or NBA fans refusing to watch Steph Curry because he's too marketable? It's absurd. This isn't just an unusual reaction. It exposes the stark differences in how women's sports are treated, especially when a player reaches a new level of success and visibility. The backlash against Caitlin Clark isn't just about her. It reveals deep-seated biases that still linger in sports culture.
Sports fans wanted to watch this crap before Caitlin Clark got involved, we would have been watching it. I mean, I own 2 sports channels. I get paid for talking about sports for a living. I was not watching this.
To be sure, there is a noticeable layer of jealousy suffocating some WNBA fan and media communities. We sacrificed for this league, and now you're just going to come in and outshine us? Yes, she definitely is. That's what happens when you possess such extraordinary talent and skill. Legacy commentators and resentful Twitter users seem to take Caitlin Clark's success
to boycott just one team's games. Like we all just illegally stream them if playing one of our teams, ? That's the plan. Okay, Deidre.
From a psychological perspective, this reaction makes sense. It's a classic case. Millions of new fans are suddenly asking about Caitlin Clark's merch, while longtime supporters of women's basketball feel their territory is being invaded. Many of these fans have spent years protecting the sport, building tight-knit communities, analyzing rosters, and tracking preseason moves like stock market trends.
The level of dumb here, we're on a whole new scale, all right? We've reached a whole new level. I literally said, is this real? I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't. They really think they matter. Typical.
Now, their perceived exclusivity is being disrupted by someone outside the old guard, and for some, that's a tough pill to swallow. This turf anxiety fuels much of the backlash. Of course, not all criticism of Clark is unwarranted. Discussions about defense or officiating are part of legitimate sports analysis. But the sheer intensity of the scrutiny is telling. Male athletes routinely make mistakes and argue with referees without facing this level of backlash. The disproportionate criticism aimed at Clark exposes deeper biases in how female athletes are treated.
I mean, they truly are pirating the the vehicularly challenged bus at this point. All right, that's what's happening. These people are just dumb. I can't even do.
It's almost comical how these so-called true fans claim to care about the league's integrity while actively tanking its ratings. They act like warriors for a noble cause, pushing anti-viewership narratives, yet in reality, they're only hurting their own interests. Even more absurd, they have the audacity to call Caitlin Clark's supporters fake fans for simply showing up and supporting her. Imagine being so opposed to success that you'd rather mock the league than enjoy its growth. This isn't just jealousy, it's a deeper philosophical divide. Ironically, the same WNBA that gatekeepers once lamented for being underappreciated is now thriving in this turf war. No matter what the critics say, Clark is elevating the league, not just through viral clips, but through tangible results. Attendance is surging, merchandise is selling out, and arenas are packed. A once-in-a-generation talent like Clark is fueling this momentum, and a wave of new fans is eager to witness women's basketball become a true cultural phenomenon.
No matter what social media wants you to believe, most people are sound. Most people you meet are good people. It's just the minority of idiots are very...
For decades, women's sports have fought for greater visibility and relevance. Now that we're finally gaining momentum and recognition, this should be a moment of unity, not division. Look at the rise of new stars in women's tennis and soccer. When fresh talent emerges, the entire sport benefits. Thanks to a rookie with an incredible jump shot and undeniable charisma, sponsors are paying attention, executives are profiting, and players are seeing real increases in their salaries. Instead of tearing Clark down, embracing her as a bridge to a brighter future for women's sports would be the smarter move. Do you agree? Leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. If we can move past the internal conflict and work together, we have a chance to witness an exciting new era for women's sports.